Maluk, your hand was up. Did you want to say something? Samuel, I've seen a number of people have AI added
Oh, okay.
to the
I
meeting.
think we.
Your network is unstable. I'm saying, why do we have a number of people adding AI notes to the session, and it's being recorded?
I, I'm seeing that already, so I think they will have to. Like I'm saying to people, Amor and I think the other person, I don't see your name, but please you can stop that and also the recording. So if you want the recording, we shall also. It's actually streamed live, so if you want the recording, you can later go and watch it on YouTube channel. So I think we are wasting time. We have past time already. So I welcome everybody again for today's session. As we are going to learn, let's keep this environment as our culture. Let's keep our mic muted and let's be attentive for today's session. And I hope everybody catches something from today's session. And we really apologize for being late. And also, let's work harder. Like sometimes we should not be joining the call late. That's why we waited for almost 10 minutes for the rest to join. So let's, but we are going to learn more about the time as for now. So please join me to welcome Brenda. Brenda, you are welcome back from the festival season, and please, we are really grateful to have you back and also to get to learn from you. So thank you so much. You can start when you are ready.
Thank you, Samuel. Um, Try to remove all the AI note takers from the session. It gives an impression that we have a lot of people attending, and these are not people. So just remove them from the session so that we are clear on how many people are actually attending. And it's also very unfortunate that the number is quite lower than expected. I don't know what's going on with so many people. I've not seen anybody say, oh, I'm caught up today and I'm not able to join. But it's 15 minutes now. I hope we'll get the rest of the people to join. Anyways, for those of us who are here and who have been so committed to this work, let's start. The rest will find us on the way. So I'm going to share my screen. I hope that we still know the reaction buttons. We can basically give a thumbs up if you're able to see my screen properly. Nice. Hmm. I can't seem to get rid of this. Right. Nice. Okay. So this is going to be interactive. I don't know if you can have a chat. Yeah, I can have a chat here. Yes. Okay. So today we are going to be looking at how we can effectively manage our time and understand what we mean by productivity. And let me start with a very simple question. And I want all of us here to be very honest with ourselves and just think about this question clearly. You don't need to like respond back, but just think about it. When was the last time you felt truly in control of your time? You can say yes, I have or not. You can drop a comment in the chat. I want to see how many people. Yeah. When was the last time you felt truly in control of your time? When you're not so busy, when you're not rushing, when you're not surviving deadlines, but truly in control. Does anybody remember when? Mm.
Is it a
Any
regular one or just occasional?
occasionally, not once in 6 months or once in a year. I mean regularly, like on a typical day, you are really in control of your time. Okay. So I'll take that as most of us in the same bracket. Most people can't remember, and that's not because they are weak or because they don't care about their time and all that. It's mainly because no one ever taught us how to manage life, right? They only taught us how to react to everything that is happening around us. We wake up when it's already late. We check our phones before we even check what is important or what is priority. We respond to everyone else's demand before asking ourselves what matters. And then we wonder why we feel overwhelmed. So this particular session exists because being overwhelmed is not normal. It's learned, and we have learned it through all the things that we've been through in our life that has made us to simply react to a number of things. So at the end of today's session, we want to be clear on how we can effectively manage our time and how we can master key elements of productivity. Why this session matters a lot is because time is the most limited resource that we have. And all of us have just about the 24 hours, but we tend to produce different results within the 24 hours. And most of us feel too busy, but we tend to be very unproductive. And then poor management leads to a lot of stress, burnout, and also missed opportunities. So productivity is not about doing more, but doing what matters the most. And mastering time is essential for both personal growth, career success, and overall well-being. That's why we want to be able to cover this entire session just to ensure that at the end of the day, we are able to know what is important and where to focus and channel our energy. So when we talk about time management, we look at time management as the intentional planning and control of how we spend our time. So if someone tells you you're very good timekeeper or you manage your time well, means that you intentionally plan and control how you spend your time. You know what to do, when to do it, right? And you are in a position to choose your priorities instead of basically reacting to everything that is happening in your environment. And when we talk about productivity, is the ability to turn your time, energy, and effort into meaningful results. That's productivity. Doing the right things and not so many things that don't add value or results to your life. What's important for you to keep in mind is that being so busy does not mean that you are being productive. What is important is for you to focus and channel your energy and your effort into creating intentional results in all aspects of your life. So most of us are faced with this challenge, feeling busy all day, but achieving nothing or something so little. And then there are a lot of constant distraction around us. We have the phone calls, social media, interruption, doing a number of activities with the friends that don't add value, that are constant distractions for us. Poor planning or no planning at all. For most of us, we don't even plan. For some, we try to plan, but we do it poorly. And then procrastination and last minute rush. Procrastination means putting off things and claiming that you will do it later. And then when later comes, you will still say, I will do it later. And then the later continues. That's procrastination. Then last minute rush. You feel like, okay, you have a whole week to complete assignments, but you will rather do it on Friday night, right? That's last minute rush. Like you feel you have a lot of time in your hands and you feel you can do this thing on Friday. And then at the end of the day, you are rushing and the results are not that tangible. And then saying yes to too many things, right? Most of us have this challenge. We basically don't know how to say no. We say yes to too many things and then it becomes overwhelming. And confusing urgency with important. Sometimes what is urgent is not what is important. So, as somebody who has to be good at managing your time and mastering productivity, you have to be clear on what is urgent and what is important. Sometimes they are not the same thing. And when we are looking at some of the tools later on, we should be able to clearly define uh, this matrix and be able to fix ourselves and our activities within the same matrix. Goal-driven time management. So we are going to basically focus on, because we looked at goal setting and all of those in the earlier sessions, we want to be able to be in a position where we are able to align our time management to our goals. So when we talk about goal-driven time management, it means using your time based on your goals, not on pressure, not on urgency, not on things that just pop up here and there as distraction. That you have your goals and everything you do on daily basis are things that are aligned with your goal. It is the practice of planning your day, your week, your activities around what you want to achieve in your life. That is goal-driven time management. So your goal in this case act as a guide that determines how you're going to allocate your time. So instead of reacting to tasks, you act intentionally because now you know what is important for you and you've clearly identified what activities you need to do in a typical day that will directly contribute to you achieving your goal. Every activity is evaluated by its contribution to the goal and nothing sort of that. So it helps you to be able to eliminate all form of distractions and unnecessary commitments that don't add value. And it's able to channel and turn all your efforts into progress and the time into results. When we are doing, when we are managing our time, we basically focus on what we call prioritization, which simply means doing what matters most. When we talk about prioritization, it's the process of deciding what tasks are important and should be done first. So at the back of your mind, you are able to rank your tasks based on the impact, based on the urgency, and based on relevance to your goal. For instance, if one of your goals was to complete a master's program, and you will come up with a list of activities or tasks that you're supposed to complete to be able to attain the master's program. For instance, enrolling to the master's program, you have a number of course units you need to do. Maybe you have research work. Maybe you have to attend lectures every weekend and all of those, right? So you have to be able to rank these tasks based on the impact. For instance, your enrollment becomes what is urgent, what is relevant, and most important because it has the impact on overall goal. If you don't enroll, you can't do any other thing you get. And that's how that particular task of enrollment becomes the most important thing for you to do first. It is urgent, it is important, it is most relevant to you achieving your goal. So, for instance, you decided not to enroll for the master's program and started going to class. Will the school admit you or accept you in the class? Probably not. Will they give you results at the end of the day? Probably not, because you don't even have an admission number and all of those you get. So that's how you are able to list out activities based on the goal that you want to achieve, and then rank them on the basis of impact, on the basis of urgency and relevance to the goal. When you do prioritization, it helps you to focus the limited time that you have on the high value activity so that at the end of the day, you are able to achieve that goal that you want to achieve. Please note that not everything deserves your time and energy you get. Everything that happens to you within the 24 hours, it doesn't deserve your time and energy. For instance, you are in the campus and maybe somebody walks by and starts, maybe tells you, oh, I see you reading a lot of book. Maybe you should be joining us to do some after the evening hour activities, go to the bar and take some bottles or something. And then you felt like this is an insult. Why would somebody do that or ask me to do that? You get. You could have chosen to basically ignore and not respond to that kind of comment you get. But some of us, we feel we must respond to everything. And then we get up and start exchanging words. Oh, how could you say that? Before you know it, you would have spent another 2 hours arguing with this person who basically wanted to distract you to begin with. And at the end of the day, even if you chose not to follow them, you would have lost 2 hours that you spent arguing with them that you could have used to do something productive. That's why we say not everything deserves your time, energy, or your attention. Sometimes let things be, ignore them because they don't add value anymore. Prioritization means deciding what is important. So keep that in mind as you think about how you want to manage your time. So important tasks move you closer to your goals and not the other way around. So the moment you choose to prioritize the key activities, it helps moves you closer to your goal. And urgent tasks demand attention, but many do not add value. There are a number of things that could come up in your life in a typical day, and they are very urgent, right? But most of the times they demand your attention because it is urgent. They want you to attend to it. But think about it carefully and ask yourself whether or not this thing adds value to you. And then you can know whether you need to allocate time for it or not. Productivity improves when priorities are very clear. When you are clear on your priorities and you know what you are supposed to be doing, it helps improve productivity because at the end of the day, you are able to take out key things that you have done. You get. We talked about not doing so many things in a typical day. We talked about doing a few things and ensuring that we check out those things and that we've done it so well, and we're able to see the results. Other than touching a number of things in the name of being busy or being productive, and then at the end of the day, there are no results for it. Now, high impact tasks should be done first. Those are your priorities, right? Highly important things because they have the greatest impact to the rest of the things that you want to do, or they have a greater impact on you achieving your goal. So you should prioritize them and do them first. And then items that are low value activities, you should leave them if possible for later, or completely eliminate them if they don't add value towards you achieving your goal. Some of the key tools that we use for prioritization, we have the ASO matrix. It helps us separate urgent and important tasks. I don't know if I've described this somewhere. Let's just see. Yes. So this is basically the summary of the tools. So we'll go here to look at each of them and how you can apply them. So the Eisenhower matrix is a decision-making tool that helps classify tasks. It separates tasks based on urgency and importance so that you are able to prevent yourself from spending time on low-value activity. It has 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is in terms of what is urgent and important. So that is 1. Imagine you have 2 columns and 2 rows. So you're able to come up with 4 quadrants. So the first one is what is urgent and important. So you list there the tasks that must be done immediately without procrastination, without putting it off for later. And then on the other side, you have things that are important, but they are not very urgent. So you list out those tasks, yeah. Then you plan and schedule them on when you can do them because they are important, but they are not very urgent. Then you have those other tasks that are urgent, but not important. You get the point. So they are urgent, but they are not important, meaning they don't add direct value to you achieving your goal. Now, those kind of tasks, you don't put your energy on them. You can basically delegate them. You can delegate them to somebody to do them. And then the last quadrant is on tasks that are neither urgent nor important. These are time wasters, you get. And you should completely eliminate these kind of activities because they don't add direct value to you or to you achieving your goals. Then the next tool is the top 3 rule. So the top 3 rule is a simple method for daily focus. It helps you avoid overwhelming your to-do list. I know some of us say, oh, I maintain a to-do list and all that. So when you're writing your to-do list, you can use the top 3 rule, yeah, so that you're not overwhelming your to-do list. And then it helps you to focus clarity on what truly matters. So how the top three rule work is that it helps you identify the three most important tasks for the day. Okay. So if you are able to identify that, and these tasks are tasks that directly support you achieving your goal. So in a typical day, you are able to identify these three most important tasks, and then you complete them before working less important tasks you get. So if you're able to identify these top three tasks before you do anything else, before you procrastinate, before you start laser, before you do anything, before you work on things that are not important, you ensure that you have already completed these three most important tasks. Why this is important is because it helps in reducing distraction. It also helps you to improve focus and completion, and also encourages intentional action because you know now at the end of the day, you are able to complete these three things, take them, and then now you can focus on other things else. Samuel, the recording has stopped. Do we continue or wait for you to set up?
Yes, you can give me just a minute. Let me connect.